It's Nerd 30. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for clicking on the video or downloading the show. It is Omega Level Nerds time. We got another Mando episode. And as I consumed people's thoughts, I've come to a conclusion. I want to see what 8-Bit Ray thinks about it. But that conclusion is that I think the Mandalorian show has lost the normies. And I'll kind of talk about why I think that. But hey, like I said, 8-Bit Ray's here. How's it going, man?
It's going just fine. It's going just fine. I thought it was a great, fantastical episode that we're going to get into.
Okay, I as well. So the Mandalorian, the pirate, like I said, I think the normies are kind of getting a little bit overwhelmed, perhaps. I say that because I agree with Ray. I thought it was a fantastical, wonderful episode, and I'm definitely going to get into that. But my wife, who watches the show right alongside me, was like, that wasn't interesting at all. Now, of course, I'm like, what? I'm married to you. I know you don't do drugs. So, but, so made me think about that a little bit. And why that could be happening. And the overall statements that I'm seeing is that they're starting to get frustrated that we're like knee deep into the Filoni-verse. That we have all these outside references that you know nothing about unless you have seen, some animated shows, the Clone Wars, Rebels,
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, which they did have that's finale, so that show is done. Excellent show. Does tie into the Mandalorian a little bit around the cloning aspect of the Empire, but I digress. That's another conversation. I don't quite agree. Now, as someone that appreciates the references, I still look at the show like I look at this episode, The Pirate. And yes, Captain Carson, after Navarro is attacked by the, Chia Pet pirate captain.
The worst CG in Star Wars.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
what's
pretty
funny,
bad.
and what's also funny about that is, when, the high magistrate is talking to the pirate, to Carl Weathers, that's Carl Weathers talking to Carl Weathers. I did not realize this, but Carl Weathers plays Grief Karga, that Chia Pet pirate captain. So, yeah, he was actually talking to himself there in hollow form.
I wonder if he's paid for two separate roles or if it's like a bundle deal or he's just paid for one role.
Yeah, I bet you it's just like a money saving, like, hey, do you want to work Carl Weathers?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We got him here. Let's get him in
Yeah.
a studio, do some voice lines, Save
'Cause,
a couple bucks.
Dave Filoni played somebody in this episode. What was his name? Something Wolf. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, Trapper Wolf. Yeah, Captain Carson. When Captain Carson, is the X-Wing fighter that we've seen, he saved Din Djarin and Grogu and that other amphibian lady with the eggs from the spiders. So we've seen him before, and he's reporting to the Republic because he gets a message from Navarro that they're being attacked by these pirates. He goes to the Republic to kind of report this, but before he does, he's in this like New Republic bar where all the starfighter pilots or whatever hang out. And when he's there, we see Zeb from Rebels. Doesn't call him by name or anything, but it's Zeb. It uses Zeb's voice. It's Steve Blum, who voiced him in Rebels. So, yes, you may not know, but the Star Wars snob does. That was Zeb from Rebels, yes. Uh, so that was cool. But I mean, if you didn't know, it doesn't take anything away, at least the
No,
way I see it.
no, it's just a fun little Easter egg for the hardcores. That's all. You know,
Yeah. If you don't
sprinkle a little love on the special sauce. You know what I mean?
exactly. Well, speaking of sprinkling and special sauce, so like I said, the Captain Carson, he reports this to the Republic. And so he reports this to like this important, this New Republic officer, Colonel Tuttle, who's played by Tim Meadows.
The ladies' man.
Yeah, it's a ladies' man. How about a pizza? I'll take a pizza ass. But that's exactly what I was thinking too. Was the ladies' man when I saw him, which is funny because this is the second SNL guy that's been on the show. In fact, an SNL person has been on every episode, every season. Although 1 and 2 were the same Horatio Sands.
Yeah, when do we get Will Ferrell? Is he going to be the season finale?
Yeah, exactly. Will Ferrell, or I was thinking maybe Molly Shannon.
Give me Chris
Uh,
Kattan. Give me Chris
Chris
Kattan. He already looks like an alien. No makeup
Yeah,
needed.
yeah, exactly. I'd love an Al Franken,
Have him play Mongo.
yeah. Uh, and of course, John Leguizamo was on last season. He's not an SNL, but just kind of sticking with the comedy trope there. But anyway, that's cool. So, but yeah, that conversation, of course, is like interrupted by your favorite, Elia Kane,
Yeah.
because she's of course like, oh no, we shouldn't help them. They haven't signed the charter, and Captain Carson's, oh, that's imperial of you. But
Yeah, he looked at her.
nonetheless,
He peeked at her badge first and
yeah,
realized what she was.
right.
Yeah.
And that was good dialogue there about no, you were defeated, or no, we were liberated.
No,
So
it is. You were captured. That's what it was. Yeah.
here's my question though. After the last episode where she fried Dr. Pershing,
Hmm.
I thought, okay, she's gone. Like she's out of here. She's going back to wherever Moff Gideon's crew is, or whatever Imperial garrison she would then belong to. But yeah, as we're speaking here, she's still around, working with this colonel. How did she not get caught? Like, at some point they had to discover, oh, this guy's fucking scrambled. How'd that happen? I don't know. When I left the room, I had it on this setting. Well, it was changed. Well, who could have done it? Like, it's not a hard crime to solve.
Maybe there was nobody there to solve the crime. Maybe the influence of the Empire and Moff Gideon is so far into the Republic that the right people took him out, and then nobody sees him.
Well, and that definitely lends credence to really kind of, I guess, a development of the New Republic in this particular story that they're selling here is the whole reason that Grief Karga could just go to that planet and like try to take it over is because the New Republic can't do jack. Like
Yeah.
he was saying, like they can't even protect the mid rim. So this could be yet another symptom of the lack of resources that they have in the New Republic, that they can't do jack. They can't do
Yeah, I
nothing.
mean, what you have to remember is that they're not incorporating the Empire's resources. They're not
Mm-hmm.
incorporating the ships or the stormtroopers or anything like that. It's all brand new. They're getting rid of it all. So that's going to put a real hurting on how far they can push their protection. They're just starting off. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
when Ukraine separated, from Russia. They had nothing. I mean, they still have next to nothing. But they're still a newer country. They're one of the newer countries in the world, and they're still building up. It's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same aspect here. The New Republic is just stupid. They're they're naive as hell in this show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they definitely are. Definitely going against Sun Tzu's teaching there in the art of war, as far as how you use your resources there, being very pig-headed-ish, really about everything. They're really only worried about the core worlds. But we see now, and I think this is part of the other thing that is kind of, at least, I don't want to say normies, but a segment of the Star Wars fandom this show is leaning into the sequels. It's not trying to erase them. It's leaning into them heavily. And so we can see how the First Order came about, because the New Republic, outside of the core worlds, yeah, you could go and build up and do whatever the fuck you want, because they weren't doing anything about it.
Pirates roaming free. Nobody to. They're like, you even heard him say it. Like, we're not going to engage pirates. We don't have the resources.
Right.
Pirates are holding the New Republic hostage. Well, not hostage, but they're at bay.
Yeah.
Pirates.
Exactly.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, you could honestly see how Palpatine came about again, man. It's so easily.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. But I think it's I don't want to say that it's their stretch to make us appreciate the newer trilogies more and make us like them more. Kind of like what Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy, how expanded that universe and it made us really appreciate, Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith and things like that.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd even go as far back as episode 1 and appreciate, because it all ties in there. And then I think this is a way to tie in these newer trilogies, which people really, really look down on. When people say that the newer trilogy, the older trilogies, the prequel trilogies, are at a higher standard than these new trilogies, that's not good.
Yeah.
So they're trying their best to try to get us to embrace them. That's why these newer shows, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, are right before the First Order takes over, and you're kind of getting to see how the formation and we're going into this cloning thing with Snoke. You're kind of getting his origin in a weird way, like a very shy away kind of way.
Yeah.
I really think that they're trying to push newer trilogies onto us, because why would they want to waste millions and millions of dollars? I mean, that's close to, let's see, it's like $300 million a film, close to, if not more, close to $1 billion. Why would you want to waste that? So let's build on what we got. Even if it's a pile of shit, let's put a little gold paint on it.
Sparkle that shit right up for you.
And that's right. Better put some water on that shit and eat it.
I think that they're not going to waste that, but I think it's kind of interesting because this Captain Carson, okay, the New Republic's not going to do shit about it. Let me go tell the Mandalorians, and he goes to their covenant, which is supposed to be secret. But then we learn that R5, who's now chilling with the Mandalorians, he served with Captain Carson in the rebellion. So yeah, they're still chit-chatting. R5 and Captain Carson. Which made me think like, oh, okay, the Mandos really aren't going to fucking like droids now.
But they're a necessity. They're a resource. They need the droids.
Yeah, for sure
they
do.
Especially on that wasteland planet that they're on. They need the radar detection and things like that for them to even go outside. You know what I mean? There's so many things that can kill them. So, double-edged sword on that one, my man.
Yeah, no doubt there. So, long story short, though, the Mando, or at least Din Djarin, this is his friend, the High Magistrate over in Navarro. So now another complaint that I'm hearing, and we talked about this in the last episode about the last episode of The Mandalorian, was that Din's taking like a back door. And I certainly felt that a little bit during the last episode, and I can definitely see where people are coming from in this episode, but he was the one, he's like the leader here, as far as like rallying the rest of the Mandalorians, trying to get them to come help him, free Navarro from the pirates. If they do, they'll have a permanent home there, because that was offered to Din, and so he can make that happen, but we got to free Navarro. So he's stepping up there with leadership. So I don't think the whole he took a back seat is 100% accurate. I see it a little bit, but he definitely has some shine here in this episode, in this part, and then a little bit later when he's the M1's winning me over a little bit now. we'll talk about that. But so Paz Vizsla speaks up. Now, that's interesting because him and Paz have kind of beefed.
Yeah.
The Navarro people have fought the Mandalorians before. And at the beginning of that speech, I'm like, okay, no, he's not with this. He's going to try and convince the rest of the Covenant to, like, not do this. Oh, no. But then he does that, why should we do this? Because we're Mandalorian. I'm like, oh, all right, shit, Paz is spitting. All right, okay. We're going to have all the Mandalorians fucking assaulting those pirates. So here's the thing about Paz. He was played by Jon Favreau, right? At least to start with?
I believe so, yeah.
Because in this season, yeah, he's played by a dude named Tate Fletcher. So I thought it was still Favreau, but it is not. It is actually another actor. Anyway, so with only 2 ships, and I can't remember Bo-Katan's ship's name, and the M1, they assault Navarro, they assault these pirates, and I'm not going to go into great detail other than to say I fucking loved it. I mean,
oh yeah,
I loved seeing the Mandalorians. They're like, because they kind of been fighting like in a dumb way up until this point, but now with the leadership of Bo-Katan, they're like, they fought like a military unit. So like, I don't even think any Mandalorians died during their assault.
they got knocked down, but I didn't see
Yeah.
any die. Nothing that would indicate death.
So that was just, I don't know what you could possibly want more from a bunch of Mandalorians to just fucking do that. Like I said, the M1, I know I was complaining that, it's a small ship, and it is, but it's a fucking cool fighter. Just the way
super
Bo-Katan
fast.
Yeah.
It's super fast and super small, so it's really hard to catch and really hard to hit. I mean, he had a whole squadron on him, and he was just flying through the canyons like it was no big thing, and they couldn't hit him. Smaller fighter, less of a target. So it's really smart that he has this ship now.
Yeah, no, it truly is. I mean, I love that part where he's like, he's got one chasing him, and then he moves real quick, and bam, 2 of them slam it, together. Just cool shit like that. The tactics they were using, like, their whole plan was for the M1 to come in, attack. They launch all their fighters to chase the M1. They do so. Then Bo-Katan comes in with her ship, which makes the snub fighters have to come back. And I'm like, oh, you're just going to turn your back on Mando? Like, that's not smart. And sure enough, like, it was just a very, very fucking cool scene. You got, the Mandalorians on the ground. And what's cool is they showed, like, the monkeys, at the start of the Mandalorian show, season 1, episode 1, those little monkey creatures are getting, they're caged up, they're getting eaten. Now Navarro developed a little bit. They're in the trees, they're frolicking. So the pirates come back and they're like shooting at them and shit. So while the Mandalorians are assaulting the pirates in the town, like the pirates set up this ambush for those little fucking monkeys. They see the Mandos and they're like, yeah, maybe, which is like the same sound. I swear to God, they got the same track from Return of the Jedi from when like R2 like blasted that one Jabba's with the lightning and he jumped up on the ceiling. I was like, yeah, it was the same shit. I know I'm not doing the sound justice, but nonetheless, that was cool. All cool shit. I loved that part.
I just had one question about their little strategy there when they pushed into the town and they were closed in on both sides. Why didn't they just jetpack up to the roof?
Yeah, I don't know if fuel's getting low.
So I mean, they're just sitting there taking it. I mean, in the previous episode, you watched them chase a fucking dragon creature.
Mm-hmm.
They chased it for miles with their jetpack. All they did was drop down in this one. They had plenty of fuel.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
If you're ambushed, you're going to take high ground, right? And you're going to get out of that pinch. Fucking shoot up to the roof. Tacticians, my ass.
Yeah, they leave a little bit to be desired there, but I'd say Bo-Katan at least helped a little bit there for sure.
I understand that you have to show vulnerability in your characters. So you have to show that the Mandalorians, even though they have the Beskar armor and things like that, they're not invincible. They can die, they can be hurt. So you can't just have a group of Mandos drop in and just annihilate an entire pirate squadron because, then you have no story. You know, you have
Yeah.
you have no stakes, right?
Right.
So you know, we have to set up that giant cannon, and then that opened up a great scene for the Forge, who just walks in and just starts walloping people with
Yes.
with that hammer, and I'm just like,
Yes.
fuck yeah, your Dark Watch training's coming in.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the theory. That's the theory. That's the theory. But we're not going to
Right.
fan book this thing. But
Right.
the theory is that the Forge with the horns on her helmet is
Yep.
that she was part of Dark Watch, who was under. They were
Darth
trained by
Maul.
Darth Maul,
Yep.
during the Age of the Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, and they
So
made all their helmets and shit look like him and everything. So yeah, it's exactly what it
yeah,
looks like.
and then she wears his colors, and it's too much to ignore, but it's too much to hope for.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've hoped for a lot, and I've gotten it from this show. But
Well,
as
I
long
mean,
as
they went out of their way to show Darth Maul in the Han Solo movie, The Crimson
right.
Dawn. They have not paid that off yet. For the love of God, it's been how many years now? 6, 7 years now.
Well,
Can
not
we please?
only that, but since then they put Maul in, in
Rebels.
Rebels, where
Hmm.
you see his final, his death, where Obi-Wan just
True,
fucking works him in 3 seconds.
but I would just like some kind of payoff to the Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, no,
You don't really get it, and I'm hoping that maybe she's it. Maybe Don, and I know we're getting into fucking fan booking like we always do.
yeah,
May, maybe Bo-Katan seems like she's being set up for the bait and switch, right? You start to like this character, and then she's going to screw you over in the end because now they're letting her go out and be an emissary to all the Mandalorians. She's allowed to take her helmet off and put it on whenever she wants, and they're setting her up to be this plot twisting villainess. I think.
Well, they are because, and what you're talking about here is basically after the Mandalorians, they kill the pirate captain, Chia Pet guy. He's dead, and all the Mandalorians are given this land, which reference for you, Bullock Canyon, which is a reference to the original Boba Fett actor, Jeremy Bullock. So, which was really cool. So they get their official land on Navarro. So the armor wants to talk to Bo-Katan. So you're talking about her because, and that's the interesting part here to me is that the armorer is developing here because
Yep.
of course Bo-Katan told her about the mythosaur. And as I've informed you, the mythosaur is the vision of the mythosaur returning is a big fucking deal. And this has shaken the armorer to where she is called to talk to Bo-Katan, and like you said, talks to her and says, "Hey, remove your helmet." You know. So, long story short, the armorer is now super into uniting all the Mandalorians. She says tribes. Now, Mandalorians are in clans, but okay, whatever.
Well, I think she means tribes by people that believe the way and people that then those that don't walk the way.
Yeah.
It would be a separate, a clan and a tribe is two separate things. One is religiously based and the other one is not. I believe it's politically. So yeah, I guess tribe would be the proper reference to that.
Yeah. And it was cool because I liked the dialogue. So the armorer looks at the broken down forge, and then she's speaking about, oh well, the forge on Mandalore is ornate and beautiful. This one, is just simple, but they both
Yeah.
do the same thing. So
She
she's
said she also said that there was about 100 armorers at once.
yeah, oh
She
yeah,
heard 100 of them pounding away, on iron and Beskar all day every day. So and now there's just one. Kind of makes you think a little bit.
so the armorer has like come to this because this mythosaur sighting has affected her. She says, that's prophesized to be, a new age for the Mandalores. And in this new age, now the armorer's belief, and this is kind of strange, but okay, is you cannot be a child of the Watch and still be a Mandalorian. And Bo-Katan is both child of the Watch in regular Mandalorian. And just like you said, has sent her out to like go get the other exiled Mandalorians to bring them all together. And when she does that, though, she smirks. She has like a little smirky, jerky, little evil fucking smirk going on when that happens. So that's why I think you're a little bit right there.
Well, you have to also remember is that she has to go out and get the people that snuffed her, that left her on that castle. You know, the ones that didn't believe in her. She gets to go reclaim them now. You know, kind of like, look at me now, bitch.
We still didn't see the Darksaber, so does she have it?
Who has it? You know, it could
no
still be
knows.
on Mandalore for all we know. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like down in the water and have to swim.
But but like the build up to that end of that episode, Don, I swear I was just waiting for the armor because she's like, you know, we have to unite our clans and walk both ways and all this. I really thought she was going to take that helmet off.
Yeah, I did too. I think it's still going to happen, but you're right. I did expect that to be like the big reveal.
You know what would be really... Now, we're not fan booking anymore, but but really quick, because we're talking about what's underneath her mask, dude. Yeah. What if it was one of the priestesses, Darth Maul's planet? What if she was like one of the race of Darth Maul? The
Danthamiri witches?
Yes.
Yeah.
How cool of a tie-in would that be?
That would be a cool tie-in because we're already talking about, kind of tying the Jedis and the Mandalorians together with Grogu. And then, we could tie in the Danthamir witches with the Mandalorians.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, it would be.
Or maybe a new character. Give us a new character, right? Maybe she's like Darth Maul's sister. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I love the Maul family. I can't help it. Man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Zabrax and stuff on Danthamir and Mother Talzin.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. Mother Talzin is somebody like the Emperor didn't want to fuck with. So
yeah,
at least not without a severe advantage. So yeah. So now you can take off your helmet and. This is a good development because I honestly, when Pedro Pascal is like huge.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to stay on a show very much longer if he can't show his face. So, I mean, I know he's already shown his face and all that, but at some point, him taking his helmet off is going to become regular.
Yes and no.
Even if it's just like him and Bo-Katan smooching, something like that, you know?
Smaller scenes like that, sure. I don't foresee him leaving his helmet off for the entirety of the Mandalorian, whatever, how many seasons they have planned or whatever. Because he's off filming other things, and when he's off filming other things like The Last of Us and things like and other movies, you can have a fill-in. It's a dude in a suit. You just need the right height and body size.
Right.
He's not speaking. He's doing the voice dubs later. So this gives him an opportunity to still do what he likes to do, acting in other things. I don't foresee him really taking the mask off. And plus, he's too much of a devotee. He's went through too much shit to get his honor back amongst the Mandalorians to just fall back and be like, okay, pop, I just don't see it.
But the armor could be like, you can walk both ways too, Din Djarin. So.
Nah. Boba Fett was a lot cooler before he lost the mask. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does, it
added that little bit of mystery. Yep, that's it.
Happened to one of my favorite wrestlers, Kane, in the WWE. He wants to take the mask off. It just loses a little something. Like a luchador. So, yeah, happy, joy. Mandalorians have a home. And if you're Bo-Katan, you can take your helmet off and all sorts of shit like that.
But the armor, I can never remember her name, her name in the show. I'm just going to call her the Forge or the Armor. She's like, now we're going to go reclaim Mandalore.
Yeah.
So you're using this planet as a base of operations to take back Mandalore. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do, she's building an army.
Well,
and I don't think that she cares who walks the way and who doesn't. She needs numbers. She needs Mandalorians, ones that will follow orders without question. Because you think back to Bo-Katan, right? She had the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
And they followed her when she lost the Darksaber. She lost it. So who has the Darksaber? Nobody knows. It could
Yeah.
be the Forge, or I don't know. I just feel like there's a big plot twist. Someone's turning on somebody. Some real Game of
Oh
Thrones
yeah.
shit's happening here. Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
ended. That episode ended on too happy of a note, my man. Sorry.
The end of it, of course, being that they, after the Happy Joy Mandalorian celebration and all that, then they cut back to Captain Carson, who finds a shuttle floating in dead space. Come to find out, it's Moff Gideon's shuttle that at least he was being transported in to go to trial. Well, he never made it to trial. Everyone's dead, except Moff Gideon's not in there.
Moff Gideon and whoever other prisoners were on that vessel.
And then when he had his astro droid send out a little probe, which was cool. It was kind of like another, original trilogy reference, because that little piece that came out of R2's head when he was in the water on Dagobah. Turns out when you're in space or not like halfway broken down like R2 is, it can like pop out and it's like a little flying probe droid. And so he sends that into the ship, Some have theorized Cara Dune is dead in that ship. I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything.
But
all you saw was a hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw a foot and a hand somewhere just floating around. You didn't see anything.
Yeah. Except for when he does the little droid scan, he finds a shard of Beskar embedded in the wall, suggesting that that Mandalorians had some hand in getting Moff Gideon. So you talk about turning. And that's what ultimately I think we're gonna, because it looks like it's just like you say, it's too happy, it's working out too good. Somebody, whether it's Paz, who I think is a candidate here, whether it's Bo-Katan, the Armorer. There's been theories that Moff Gideon is actually a Mandalorian. And I mean, it makes sense. He did have the Darksaber, so it would make complete and utter sense that he would have a contingent of Mandalorians that did whatever the fuck he said.
Who had the Beskar in season 2?
I can't remember her name. It's that lady that fought Ahsoka. Is
Yeah,
talking about with the spear?
Yeah, she had the spear.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of
And then it got melted down into
Grogu's armor.
right.
His chain melt. Yeah, but where did she get the Beskar from? Had to have been Moff Gideon if he is supposedly part Mandalorian. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That would be a good tie-in to season 2.
And the Empire has a shitload of Beskar that they took from the Mandalorians. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much what they pillaged the planet for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or it's just another sign that the Empire is coming. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm sure it wasn't Mandalorians. It's somebody else. It had to have been something else. But what, I do not know. Who, I do not know. That's what we are waiting to find out. We can theorize all day, and we still won't come up with half a good answer.
Right.
Only Filoni and Favreau know.
Right, exactly. But we're pretty good at, we did say in last show, we knew this show was going to be a banger, and it was.
Yeah.
We told you.
I said they're going to crank that action dial up, and, and this is where, and then did I not say that this is where they're going to turn up the heat and the story is really going to pick up?
Yeah,
that ending. What did that ending leave you with? 1, a cliffhanger. 2, more questions, which is what you want in a show. It's always what you want. You want people to keep coming back next week, and this show does great. I almost love their subtle endings. Like you don't really feel like the episode's ending. It's just
bam.
It's over. Cut to black, and I'm like, damn, no build up or nothing. You just leave me hanging like that. Nope. You guys are geniuses.
My wife gives a hard sigh.
Plus, you never know. You never know how long the episode's going to be that week. You could be in for a 32-minute episode. You could be in for a 45. You just don't know till you hit the play button.
It is inconsistent for sure.
I guess it all depends on how much story they want to cram into that particular episode.
But what if the Armorer does get all these Mandalorians? It's glorious. They take Mandalore. What
There's
if
nothing.
it's
There's nothing there. There's nothing to take.
no
I don't know.
right? But who's to say that during the sequel trilogy that everybody hates and wants to see erased, and it's not being erased, it's actually kind of being leaned into.
Yeah.
What if we saw no Mandalorians during that? What if
Yeah.
they're just like watching this shit? Like, look at these idiots. Look at this New Republic and this fucking First Order. Look at we're just gonna wait till they fight, and then we're just gonna swoop in.
I think they just want to be left alone, Don. I think they just want to get their planet back and just be. We're going to be an independent planet, kind of like that one planet was.
Yeah, Navarro.
Yeah, Navarro. I don't know why I want to say Newstead. I'm getting Metallica and Jane's Addiction mixed up here.
Newstead bassist. Yeah, Metallica
Yeah.
bassist.
Uh, yeah, I think Mandalorians just want to be left alone. They go out and do their. Sometimes they want to go out and do jobs. You know, that's revenue. I mean, the planet is pillaged. What more could you want besides the prestige and honor being king or queen of Mandalore?
Yeah.
You know, there's not enough Mandalorians to fill a planet. Let's be honest here. A lot of them were killed and eradicated during the purge from the Empire. So I don't know how many of these clans and tribes that she's going to find out in space. It's not going to be an entire army.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what she's building towards. I mean, is she really coming to some kind of unity with the Mandalorians? Because Bo-Katan saw the Mythosaur and she's a firm believer that it's the next coming of the age, or you know. But this is a woman. I'm assuming is a woman. I'm sorry.
She's played by a woman.
Okay, well then I'll say it's a woman. Then I didn't want to gender assume
Misgender,
someone
right? Sure.
I didn't want under a mask, you know.
Right.
Shit, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you know, I mean, you kind of made your point, I guess, as far as like who knows what her agenda is, other than she's trying to build this army that there's not enough Mandalorians
yeah,
for.
That was my point, Don. I'm sorry, I got off track.
Yeah.
What? Why? This is the same person that disowned Pedro Pascal's character, the Mandalorian. She told him, you know, you're not a Mandalorian anymore.
Mandalorian no more.
She was so pure-hearted about that until this battle, and then she has a sudden change of heart. I just don't understand it. I don't know.
I understand it a little bit only because it's the same reason why I like that scene. Just these fucking Mandalorians just swoop in. And
But the previous episode, she made it seem like Bo-Katan was a little crazy. Like, but did you really see the Mythosaur, or was it in your head? You know what I mean?
I think she sees the way she leads him, and she's like, you know what?
That might be it.
You know,
you might be right. You might be right because she has led them in successful battles, battle and missions, multiple times, and they seem to follow her every word and every direction. So they see her as a leader, and she did not walk the way. So maybe there is something to see on both sides. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So we've already talked about how the Armorer is probably part of Maul's Death Watch. Okay?
Possibly.
Well, Darth Maul and his Death Watch that watched him do it to get at Obi-Wan killed her sister, Satine. Okay? So what if the Armorer turns out to be one of those Darth Maul Death Watch Mandalorians that watched him kill her sister? What if she finds that shit out and is like, we're throwing hands, motherfucker. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Armor's a badass. It's not exactly easy prospect, but
it makes sense. That's almost full circle. So yeah. I mean, I'm all for that. Why not?
All right, that's my ring-a-ding-ding predict a thing. That's what I'm doing there. All right, well, I'm loving it. Think it's losing the normies a little bit, but
Fuck 'em.
I couldn't have said it any better.
This isn't for you. This
Yeah.
show was never for the normies. Little baby Grogu was for the normies. They were for
Right.
the, oh my god, he's so cute, baby Yoda. We're gonna sell all kinds of plushies and backpacks and lunch boxes.
Right.
That's who it's for. The Mandalorian is for us.
And I love
Y'all
it.
are just a byproduct. Okay?
Long for the
So
ride.
if y'all disappear, guess what? The show's still gonna average like 3 million, viewers a week. So we ain't hurting. Star Wars
Right.
fans will never be hurting. Okay?
Nope. We're gonna continue to eat good.
Uh-huh. And prosper.
All right, Ray. Well, I said that we would lead with this, and I haven't, so I lied. But I still want to talk about this, just because I think we all saw this coming. So E3 has been canceled. In fact, in my opinion, it's deader than a horny teenager at Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th.
Yeah. On a rainy, dark night.
Because let's face it, you can PC master race me all you want. If the big three console makers aren't coming to your video game show, you don't have a show.
Yeah, that's about it.
So I'm
Because
surprised that they thought
I'm
that it was up in the air whether it was going to happen. I'm surprised it wasn't canceled a long time ago.
they announced it, but they never had a commitment from any of the big developers.
Mm-hmm.
So to continue on, it's like going to film a movie without your stars. You just got a bunch of extras, a bunch of indies that signed up because it's E3, it's prestigious. And this is an age where everybody has their own cons. You have the ability to have
Yeah.
D23, you have DC Dome or whatever it's called,
DC Fandom.
yeah, Fandom, whatever. That's the dumbest name I've ever heard. Short.
Fandom.
Fandom. But you have the ability that you don't need E3. You do not need San Diego Comic-Con to push your shit out anymore.
Yeah.
Or New York or any of that. You don't need Hall H pretty much, right? Because this is an age where, I would say a good 95% of the population on Earth has internet access.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just Google it. You can look it up. You can get an update on Google News, or you don't have to. This isn't must-see TV anymore.
Right.
So the fact that E3 even lasted this long is amazing to me, because E3 is kind of like the how do I put it? The video game magazine of the past.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Once we got into that digital age, print to paper, what was the point? Unless you were still collecting magazines, right?
Like Playboy Penthouse. Once internet porn was free, who needed that?
Exactly. You don't need it anymore. This is the digital age. So E3 dying is not a shock to me. The shock is that it lasted as long as it did. Because because you're not must-see TV. No one.
Yeah.
Okay, when we were younger, if we can remember back that far in our Alzheimer's type ages,
Right.
E3 was like the summer event, baby.
Yeah.
This was your next year of gaming, all in one little thing. You're getting trailers, screenshots, article, everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Coverage, and it used to be a fan event, right? So, and then it became a corporate event, right?
Yeah.
They stopped letting fans in years ago. I think they stopped letting fans in at around 2016, 2017, something like that. So you took away your fan base and you only let in press. That's the dumbest shit, to take the gamers out of a gaming event. Sorry.
Yes,
no one's
sir.
no one is gonna word of mouth your games or what you did at E3 more than the gamers. The press are only gonna write a small little blurb on their website for clicks. They're not gonna go into detail. Gamers will talk about a game all day if they're super excited about it.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Think about when we talk Legend of Dragoon and Chrono Cross, or Chrono Trigger. I'm sorry. I mean, we went on for a half hour, 40 minutes just talking about that because we love those games. So you have E3 just trying to survive for money, for clicks. You know what I mean? Like, you're still inviting GameSpot and you're still inviting IGN, but they don't need you anymore. People go directly to IGN. They go directly to GameSpot.
Right.
They don't have to come to you don't have to have an event to where they drive these people in to review your shit or cover your shit anymore. And E3, being the greedy piece of shit that it is, it just ate too much off the plate and had enough. And we all had enough and said, okay. And all the developers went with it. That's all. It was just a slow death.
Yeah.
That's it. Tell me, Don, when's the last time you got excited for E3?
Oh,
What,
last year that I worked at a GameStop or some shit. I mean, that's about it. Because even for a while now, even when they did make it a non-fan event and it was only press, and they showed some awesome fucking exclusive trailer in Hall H, we get it hours later on the internet anyway.
yeah.
So,
But and if you think about it, really, the video game awards have become the new E3 because a lot of
yeah,
people will save their trailers for their new games, their big AAA games for the video game awards. Why do they
right.
do that? Why do they do that? It's cheaper and it's more access. It's more accessible, right?
Yeah, more people watching it.
It's on basic cable.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's still a thing for another 30 seconds. But
Right.
I get, I get your point there. So, yep.
But you get to access a more broader audience by doing it that way. Why would we want to all, get buried? You remember how big E3 was at one point to where you had to fight for a spot?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And they would unveil some big, heavy, major league titles that, if you were just a smaller game, you were getting buried by the
yeah,
headlines. Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5, or you know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
were getting buried. Now these games have the access to just drop a trailer and everybody's going to cover it. You're going to have not just IGN, not just GameSpot and all the big ones like that. You have content creators, you, me, other YouTubers.
mm-hmm,
Uh, we're all going to cover it.
yeah,
So word of mouth is getting out. But back then, E3 was your big coverage. We
yep,
don't need it anymore. It's dead. It's a dead medium. The big event thing, it's done. We used to get really super psyched about Hall H back at San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con. Not anymore because we
right,
have fucking Marvel Day and D23. We don't
yeah,
need it anymore.
yep. Yeah, so I mean, they try to feign like, could be back next year. We'll judge
No,
interest,
it won't.
but you
No,
did.
it won't.
You're done,
No, it
son.
won't.
You're gone.
Nope. And it sucks. I mean, that's like a piece of our childhood dying. But you know what? At this point, we're used to it. You know?
Yep. You ain't kidding.
But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more you can do with that. I mean, we saw this coming. Slow death is here, or slow death is
You
done.
have to move with the times.
Yep, that's for
You
sure.
can't. E3 should have known that you can't just invite the big league people. You have to invite smaller creators. That's the way of the future. Content creation is the way of the future, and they need to learn to get on board or move out of the way.
You heard it here on Omega Level Nerds. Well, this isn't exactly breaking news. It's been out for a couple days now, about a week, but definitely surprised the hell out of me. So Johnthan Majors, the guy that plays Kang, Immortus, uh, so he did an Ezra Miller, or allegedly
Allegedly, yeah.
did an Ezra Miller. There's not really a whole lot of details that I've seen, but I've seen where they did meet with his agent though to talk about the future, but what exactly that means, I don't know. But yeah, like Marvel did meet with his agent. Is he about to get Terrence Howard, or what do you think here?
We're gonna need proof. We're gonna need absolute proof, and I'm
Right.
sure that Marvel wouldn't make a move and completely fire the guy and
They wouldn't
rewrite.
Warner Brothers it?
No, they got bigger brains over at Marvel. Uh, I don't think that they would fire Jonathan Majors right off the bat just for allegations. Um, they wouldn't Johnny Depp. I think they learned from the Johnny Depp thing over at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're not going to do that. They're building their entire Phase 5 around this man.
Yeah.
So to jump to conclusions would be a lot of money lost. Now, some things and a lot of the things they haven't even filmed yet. So, but you're basing it with Quantum Mania and the Loki show, and you're really pushing this Kang aspect. But then have to backtrack that, I think would really just fuck you. Your whole
Yeah.
Phase 5 is fucked. Unless you would pivot to another character. But I mean, look at the Rick and Morty thing. They jumped to
Yeah.
conclusions and they separated themselves from him very quickly. Now I'm sure that someone got a check because them charges got dropped awful quickly.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to see that as happen to Jonathan Majors because a lot is riding on this villain. Marvel is always they've always had shit villains. I'm sorry. I love the Marvel movies to pieces, but the shit villain stigma it's there. And to finally get one that's halfway decent and believable and then have it
Mm-hmm.
all fucked up, that would really suck.
Yeah, I mean, to have it all go down like that because, right, they took this huge gamble on Robert Downey Jr. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if
Yeah.
anybody was going to stumble and fall, it was going to be him, right? But clean as a whistle,
Yep.
And then you see like what Warner Brothers and DC's going through Ezra Miller. You're like, oh, it's so great. We don't have to deal with that at Marvel. Then now this happens. So yeah, I think that they learned not only from the Johnny Depp piece, but of course their reaction to James Gunn kind of bit him in the ass because now look, James Gunn is now right
Running DC.
the architect of their enemy. Um, so I would say they've learned from that, but at the same time, if it comes out to be like true,
Yeah.
and he assaulted this woman. You're right, man. They're like balls deep into Kang Phase 5. Like, I
They're
don't
gonna
know,
have to they're gonna have to pivot real hard, real fast.
to Doctor
Uh,
Doom.
Doctor Doom or go beyond that, get somebody more
Or like,
powerful.
here's the
They're gonna have
X-Men,
to
some
pull
shit.
something. Yeah, yeah. That's how we finally get the X-Men assault charges. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But no, I mean you're gonna have to
Ugh.
pull out. Yeah, you might have to pull out a Doctor Doom or somebody that just eradicates all the Kangs with power cosmic. Maybe I don't know. I'm not Marvel. I don't work there, but
Yeah.
maybe a Beyonder type level.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly. Beyonder.
Omega wink. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
maybe a Phoenix Force. Huh?
There you
Wink.
go.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Because,
they would have to do something very drastic to pick up the pieces of losing that main character that
yeah.
is such a threat to this Phase 5 and the entire multiverse.
Multiverse. Yep. You have to collapse it down real quick. It would be really problematic.
There's only a handful of villains that you could pull out of your ass that would be a believable.
You would have to do you would have to
It
do
would have
Secret
to
Wars.
be
It would have to
you would
be Beyonder or Doctor Doom's got the power of the Beyonders, and he's got Molecular Man with him, and they create Battle World, and like it'd have to be some goofy major paradigm bullshit.
but you would also need, Molecule Man. There's only one Molecule Man in
Right.
the entire multiverse. I just don't know how you would or what you would do, who you would get that's
Yeah.
multiversal like that besides Molecule Man. But you can't have an all-powerful being. It just don't work like that.
Right.
So how would you got to give the heroes a chance. Who would you go with?
Well. I mean, actually, one of the slicker things I thought about that Secret Wars was, of course, Doctor Strange was God Doom's like right hand sheriff man,
Yeah.
And the only reason Doctor Strange himself wasn't a god in charge of everything like Doom is because Doom was like, yeah, me a god? Absolutely. Doctor Strange was like, no, I'm no god. So, hence why Doctor Doom was able to seize the power. Nonetheless, in order to counteract that, though, Doctor Strange, and this might be, this is going to get comic book crazy science shit, but he had an Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones stored away just in
And
case,
gave
he
it the
needed
Black
it.
Panther, right?
He gave it to Black Panther. Yeah, gave it to Black Panther. So that'd kind of be cool. Of course, we don't
It's
have
just
Black
that's a
Panther,
lot.
but yeah, it
That's
is.
a
No, it
lot.
is. It's totally wacky, crazy, and will never work. But they're going to have to do something if it just turns out to be true.
I mean, you do have different versions of Kang, but essentially this Kang is the same in every, well, not the same, but equally as powerful in every aspect of every part of the multiverse that he's in, right?
Right, because he doesn't have powers or anything. He just has access to like crazy technology.
Crazy technology, yeah. So, being a descendant of Reed Richards doesn't help.
Yep, because it's Nathaniel Richards.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of somebody that they could get to replace Kang if they really had to. I mean, it'd be cool if they did it, but they wouldn't. Apocalypse. You
Oh,
know,
I was.
redeem Pedro Pascal. Was it Pedro? Yeah, it was Pedro
No, no, no,
Pascal,
no,
right?
no. No, it was the other guy. It was in Star
Oscar,
Wars. Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get my Spanish guys mixed up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, redemption for Apocalypse. Even though Don, we all know that the Apocalypse that everybody complained about in X-Men Apocalypse was technically comic book accurate.
Yeah,
The powers,
he just didn't look the part.
kind of the origin. Yeah, he just didn't look the part at all. He looked like Ivan Ooze's stepbrother.
Yep.
Uh, but they did the best they could. But I would like a full scale, full decked out, apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
In the full.
And I
Get
want him to talk like this, like in the X-Men.
You
I'm
are
Apocalypse. Yeah. I'm
I'm
forever.
Apocalypse.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
but unfortunately he's dead. Uncle
Yeah.
Phil. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Who
here.
also who
Yeah.
also voiced who also
Shredder.
voiced Shredder. Yeah, man, he was a great voice actor. I think he was the voice actor for Claw and Inspector Gadget as well.
Yeah.
The guy had a great career. But I mean, just fully decked out. And you know what's great about Apocalypse, that they could bring in the armor, because that was I can't remember what it's called. His
Oh, it's
entire body.
Celestial. Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
Celestial armor. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And
Which
that
is
ties in, to fucking what was that piece of shit that came out? Eternals.
yeah. Yeah.
And that also ties into Guardians of the Galaxy, because they're in a Celestial's head in the middle of nowhere. Why not? Fuck it. Apocalypse. Justice for Apocalypse. I'm with it.
And that gives that can give Thor an excuse to get his Yarnborn axe, which will cut Celestial armor.
There it is. Perfect.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I am as far beyond mutants as they are beyond
All
you.
beyond you. Yeah.
I am Apocalypse, the ever-living. Oh, I love it. That's what they need.
Oh, it's so good.
My wife's
So
looking at
good.
me strange, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Good stuff. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that plays out, though. I think you could recast him, though. But you've seen his face as so many Kangs, it would be strange.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But I don't know. He's got access to technology. Maybe it was a mask,
Sure.
a virtual mask. They could come up with
Yeah.
an excuse if they really wanted to.
Yeah, you could comic book science your way out of it, I'm sure.
Of course. It's Marvel, and they'll make you believe it because it's not real.
Exactly. All right, well, cool. I think we're gonna put a pin in it there. We'll see you next time when Mando show comes out. But before we go, Ray, of course, host of the Overlook Hotel fellow contributor, Superhero Speak. Where can we find you? I've only kept you 9 minutes past your stream time, so where can they...
Man, you're good, man. Yeah. You can find all the previous episodes in the library of the Gorilla Brain podcast to see what I'm all about and my opinions on things. Future podcasts, The Overlooked Hotel, be releasing soon. I'm doing the merchandising still, Don.
All right.
And you can catch me on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 p.m. EST. And I think I'm going to be streaming on Kick. It's this new streaming platform that competes kind of with Twitch right now. But the revenue split is not 50-50, my friend. No, it is 95-5. And their rules are, there pretty much are no rules. And they just rolled out an app a couple days ago. So that's why I'm taking them seriously now.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's like full fan interaction. It's not like Twitch that'll ban you and things like that. Like they have rules, but there's like no porn. Like they had to put a couple rules in there. No porn.
Sure, no porn.
It used to be the Wild West about a couple weeks ago. You could watch porn with your fans if you wanted to be, but now they're going legit. So
Okay.
yeah. So I might look into streaming on there. On my off days or something like that. Currently streaming Resident Evil 4 Remake, having a blast. I'm having a ton of fun playing that, and it gives me hopes that maybe next remake that they do will be Resident Evil 0 or Code Veronica. I'll take either, fingers crossed. So,
All right.
but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, and come and join me. It's a total blasty blast.
Yeah, definitely check him out. Of course, check out our Twitter. Tweet at the show at Omega Level Nerds. Comment on the video. Let me know what you thought of The Mandalorian. Are you a normie? Has it lost you? Or are you like me and Ray and we're just loving every bit of it?
Yeah.
#
Justice for Apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I just love to see an awesome apocalypse on screen one day maybe. Let us know what you think down below in the comments, or if you're just listening to the audio, then just give us a holler over at Twitter at Omega Level Nerds, or email me, and that's OmegaLevelNerds@gmail.com. Until next time, see you soon.